In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Appleby Healy land title site. So you'll go to your URL to begin with and type in /wp-admin, and that's how you'll log in. You will put in the username and password that we've given you, and you'll be in the back end here. So there's not a whole lot of elements to the site, so it should be pretty straightforward and simple. The things that you need to worry about are over here on the left-hand side. We don't need to think about or look at anything over here. This is what creates and constitutes the elements of your site. Updates is the first thing we'll look at, and that is what is used to make this site is plugins and themes. And if you want to, you can update these plugins. We go through and regularly do that for all of our sites. We update the themes and the plugins twice monthly, so you never have to worry about that if you don't want to. But that's what that is, just so you know. Posts are blog posts, but I don't think that you have any. Media, that is where all of your media is located. So pictures, logos, any PDFs, things like that are all located in here, and you can add new media through here, this button or this button, and it'll take you to a place where you can drag files or select files, and that's where you can upload media. But anytime that you need to upload media through a page or on a slider or something like that, the option is there. So you never really need to go to the media library, but you can view what's there if you need to. The next thing is forms. You have several different forms, so we'll want to take a look at kind of how they work, and I'll just go over the basics of how forms work so that you can see, and basically if you needed to replicate a form or if you needed to make any changes. So this looks like the 1031 exchange orders. So there's pretty basic elements here. And let's click preview. So this doesn't look exactly what it looks like on the site. It looks like how it will look without any of the formatting. So you can see you've got 3 pages here. And so I would have to fill in these things in order to see what the other pages looked like. So you've got a name field, email, phone number, seller name, address, buyer name. So this is all basic. Everything we use to create this form would be over here in advanced fields. So if you add the name field, that's what this is. And so the field label can be changed to whatever you want. So on this one, it's titled name, and down here it's titled seller name. So you also make these fields required by selecting down here required. And so then also if you wanted to change this field to add prefixes, middle, suffix, those kind of things, then you could do that here. And then we created things like lender and loan amount. That's created through just a single line text field. So you can see that is under standard fields here. So basically if you add a field, if you come over here and add a field, it'll add it to the bottom of wherever you're at, and you can click on it and change the field label. You can make it required. You can duplicate a field through here, or you can get rid of it. And these page sections are added through trying to find, I think it's up here, section. So you would just click section, and then you can drag this wherever you want. So you can, when you hover over it or when you click on it, you can see what kind of field this is. So this is a section. So if I were to add a new section, then I can add this header kind of information and put whatever I want there. And then you add page through here, and you can see that this is a page. And so it'll give you a beginning and end of page. So you begin here and you can see that it ends here. So if I were to add a page section, then I can drag it wherever I want. And then always click update when you have made any changes to a form. You can rearrange any of these things by dragging them. Let's look at the other forms and see if they have more complicated elements and see if there's anything else that we need to go over. This basically functions the same way. You can see you have the pages, you have the section information, you have a name field, a single line text field. So this basically functions the same way. Contact us form is probably very simple. Yes, it is. And there's no need for it to be on 2 separate pages. Custom order. See, this all just kind of works very much the same way. So you just have those elements, and you come over to the right-hand side and select whichever element you want. And then create pages based on where you think it's best to break it up, which is oftentimes wherever this section needs to be created. But you can have multiple sections within a page, however you want to do that. So then if you go to forms over here, if you hover over each form, you see that for each form you can see settings, you can see your entries, you can preview, you can duplicate this form. Let's say you need to make a form that looks basically the same, just duplicate it, and then you can add and delete or change elements as needed. So let's look at settings, and we'll go to notifications. This is who's receiving the notifications. So you can see this is the email that's receiving those notifications. So if I ever needed to change this email, that's where you change it right there. Just type in or copy and paste whatever you need and select update. You can also duplicate this, and then let's say you need to add a second person. You want these to go to 2 different people. You can duplicate it and add a different email there. So all you'd have to change is that send to email. And then you can also view your entries through here. So it looks like that form doesn't have any entries. And you can see over here how many entries there are for each form. So for this one, you can view your entries there as well. If you had another WordPress site, you could import or export this form and use it on another site. I don't think that you'd ever do that. And then I'll show you once we get to pages down here how to implement these forms, where you would put them. So let's look at pages now. And you have 2 pages worth of pages, so you can see there's 2 different pages. So there's a second page over here. So and now I want to be able to see what's on the front end so that I can look and make sure that we've got you set up for everything. So let's look at a page such as our story and see how that's set up, and then you can kind of get an idea of how pages work. So for this page, you're looking at it here. This is the front end, and here we are in the back end. And so you've got your text here, and you've got your photos here. So how we have this done is we have short code here to put these in 2 columns. So 1 column, 2 columns. And if you ever want to change the text on here, that's where you would do it. Come in here and change any of this, and then you can click update. If you want to change out any of these photos, I don't know, it's not letting me click on it for some reason. That's weird. This is in a gallery. So here, if you want to edit the gallery, you can add to the gallery. I can select whatever image if you want to add a new person, or if you want to update your photo, you can do that by adding to the gallery and then deleting this one. And you put the caption here. You can change the size and then the number of columns. So obviously we've got it in 2 columns because there's 2 pictures, and then these are medium-sized photos. And then you would click update gallery. So if you ever wanted to update those pictures, and if you ever wanted to update this picture here, if you're ever having problems with, if you couldn't, like I couldn't select it right there, but you can see here on this side, let's say I want to get rid of that picture, I would just delete this right here. That's the picture, and you can see that it is. Or I can probably refresh the page and be able to select it. There we go. So I can align it differently. I can edit it. I can replace the photo. I can change the size of the photo. I can change the caption of the photo here and click update. And then once you click update here, you'll need to click it again on this page over here to update. And you also have on this page a featured image at the top here. So if you ever wanted to change out this image that appears at the top of the page, then you would change it through here and remove featured image, or click on it and then select a new featured image and click set. And then again, anytime you make a change within the page, you'd click update. So that's our story. Then I think orders, fees, going very slowly. I think these pages all kind of look very similar. Yeah, these pages all look very similar, and then there's the contact page. So I'll go over kind of how those work. So let's look at fees. So on this page, we've done some custom coding to make this work. But if you take a look at it, you can kind of see how it's set up. So if you wanted to recreate, so let's say you go to this fees page and you want to recreate one of these boxes, you can copy this and then paste it beneath it and then change out the URL and change out the image that appears in the background and change out the title, which would be right here. Now, if you do end up making some changes, it might not look right. So these might not all be the same size. They might not fit on the same line. So if that's something that you need fixed or help, or you end up messing around with this and it does not look right, you can let us know and we would be happy to help fix it. If it does get super crazy and the site gets messed up, obviously that's not going to be something super quick and easy for us to fix. So I wouldn't advise changing a lot here. If you want to change just what these buttons are called, or if they need to be relinked somewhere else, then that's possible. But for as far as those pages go, if you need to add something, it might be best just to ask us to help you with that before you changed out. And so these essentially link to another page with this form on it. So all those pages that have 3 little buttons link to another page that has that form. So this just has that gravity form on it. So the way that's added is through add form. You select whichever form title you want. Just don't display the title or the description, and you click insert form and it gives you the short code right there. And you can set a featured image. Again, these all look nice and clean. And so let's take a brief look at the contact page, just in case you ever need to make any changes there. So we have a Revolution slider at the top of this page, which is this part right here. And that has pictures of office space and things like that. And I'll show you where that's at and how to change and edit that in a moment. So that's located right here. And then you have your directions. They, through shortcode, are split into columns. So let's say you end up and you get a third office in another city or something. Then you can use column shortcode here to create a third column. Again, if you run into issues with that, let us know. If you need to relink these things, or you move offices or change phone numbers, this stuff can all be formatted through bold. You can italicize things. You can align it differently. You can hyperlink it by pasting the URL there. You can change the size of text through here. You can add media, add a photo. Wherever your cursor is, it'll add the photo. So you can see that this is bold. It's a different size text. This is also bold and a different size text. And as you scroll down in the bottom of the page, you have the form. So you can see that that's down here. So I don't know that there's much that you'd change there. So those are the basic elements of pages. If you ever want to add a new page, you can click add new through here, and you should just be able to add a title to your page and add whatever content that you want, and it should fit and look just fine. And I'll show you how to add it to the menu if you end up wanting to do that. Comments, you're not using that. FooGallery, you're using one FooGallery for these affiliations. And if you ever wanted to add another, all you'd have to do is come in here and add media and select upload a file, and then select it and click add media, and then click update, and then it's just automatically going to update your gallery with that picture, so you wouldn't have to do anything. But the short code for your gallery is right here if you ever want to add it on a different page somewhere else. And you may need to change the the height or the margins just to make sure that it looks right if you see that something doesn't look right once you've added another affiliation there if you needed to. Or you can delete it if you need to, or edit it through this button here. And that's all you're using that for. Genesis is your theme. Nothing to worry about there. We've taken care of most of that. Appearance has two items that you need to focus on and look at, and that's widgets and menus. So we'll start with widgets. So this is basically what's constituting what makes up your home page. So you can see all these different elements. You have an element here, 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 and you can kind of see how they're broken up. So we'll just start at the top and work our way down. So header right, this is basically what's here. So you have your header, which is got a logo and a menu. So we'll edit the menu later, or show you how to edit the menu later. That's right here. You just have one menu and it's selected. Don't have to mess with anything there. You have your logo here. If you ever need to update your logo or you change your logo, you can choose an image. You can change the size of it and then make sure it's linked to your home page correctly. And there's a save button in the corner. Doubtful that you'll ever change that. Probably pretty set with your logo there, but that's just so you know. Nothing in the sidebars. Then you have before header. So this is that information that's above the header right here. And you can see we have your phone number and your email. So the way that you link a phone number, you can see it's linked by typing exactly this and then the phone number. You can edit it there. And then to open up a mailbox, you have to put mail to with an ellipses, just like that. And so let's say you wanted to add something else. There's enough room where if you wanted to add some other words and a little line there, you could probably add it and it would fit fine. You don't probably want to make that super text heavy, and just click save if you want to make any changes there. Home top, this has your revolution slider, and that's what's located here. And I'll show you how to edit the slider in just a minute. And again, save button is in the bottom corner. Then you have the visual editor for the home button. And again, we've got those buttons here where we have the words and the little picture in the background. And then those are all linked to different pages. So those are just going to be things that you're going to want to probably not change, but that's where that's located. Right there. Again, save button in the bottom corner. And in the footer, we have this stuff right here. So everything that's right here is going to be located in the footer widgets. So you have, again, the logo. And then we have the words, a trusted name since 1951 down there. That's where you would change that wording if you ever wanted to, or you noticed a typo or something. I don't think that there is one, but then you've got license to do business if you need to change the wording here. If you need to link to a different PDF, you would upload your PDF to the media file, get the URL for that particular PDF, and then apply it here and click apply, or paste it there and click apply, click save. Then you've got your visual editor with your Springfield address where you can update. We have this linking to Google Maps. and we have it for Ozark. So if you ever need to add another one of those, you'd come over here, click Visual Editor, and then select Footer 1, Add Widget. And it would appear over here, and then you can always drag these and put them in different places. If you do end up adding something to the footer, it might set some of this off and it won't look quite so centered. So again, you might need help with that if you do change anything. Visual Editor just allows you to put text in there. So you have your phone number again and the email down here as well. And that's just a little bit bigger. You can see that it's set to a bigger font size. And that's everything. So that's all that you have there. And then under menus, so if you ever created a new page, it would show up over here. You'd select it, click Add to Menu, and it'd show up over here. And then you can make it a sub-menu item. You can drag it, put it wherever. I can change the name, the label of it, or I can remove it. And then click Save once I've made any changes to make sure that they are appearing on the site. And then if you wanted to add a link to an outside site, then you can copy and paste the URL and give it whatever label you'd like right there, and click Add to Menu. Works just the same way. So moving on, plugins. That's what I showed you up at the top earlier. Users. This is where, and we can leave because I'm not saving those changes. This is where you have your admin login, and you can change your password here if you'd like. You can add a new admin. All you need is an email. And you just click Add New. Give them a username and email. I usually make that the same. And then generate a password and then decide what they're going to be. Tool settings, SEO, those are all things we've set up for you. Don't have to worry about. Slider revolution on your site, there's not a whole lot that's going to be changed out, I don't think. This is the homepage slider. So if it will load, it's taking a minute. Come on. Let's try it this way. I don't know why this is going so slow. Oh my. There we go. All right. So on your slide, all we have are this element and a background photo. So if you want to change the background photo, you change it through here, change image. Works the same way as all the other things. The media library will pop up. You select insert. If you need to adjust where it's at, so let's say the background position, you can change and move it over, left or right, up or down through this background position here. This element, you can change the wording by double clicking if you'd like, and then just click the green check mark. And then this has an action and it links to your contact page just through a simple link. So if you want to link it somewhere else, that's possible through here. You just need to make sure if you do make any changes, all your text fits within each screen size here, which we've obviously done for you already. And then you can preview how it looks. Just like that. So probably not going to make any changes there. Let's see if my internet will not be crazy and let us look at the Contact Us slider. This is the other slider. And so here's the Contact Us slider. What we have going on in this one is just images. So basically, if you want to make any of these invisible and not let them appear on the site, you just click this little red button. If you want to bring it back, click the green one. If you want to delete it altogether, you can delete it. If you want to duplicate it, you can duplicate it. If you want to switch these around, they are draggable and you can rearrange their order. There's no layers on top. This is basically just photos of your space. So you can add a new slide by adding a blank slide or adding bulk slides here. And it'll open up the media library and you can select different images to add. So you would just select whatever images you had uploaded and make sure you click save. And that's really all you have to do. Same principles apply in that you can change the background position. So if you want to scoot the photos over kind of in the frame of view, and you can preview them through here as well. And that would be pretty simple. Best way to do that would probably just be to duplicate them. We also have that nice feature where they kind of zoom in and out, and that's changed just by messing around with this scale in % right here. And yeah, you'll just click save. And if you go to slider settings, it'll show you the shortcode. So you can just copy and paste that and put it wherever you'd like to use it. Probably not going to use it anywhere else, but if you ever wanted to, that's where you could do that. So our last thing that we need to talk about is Google Maps. You have a map on your contact page, and so let's look at manage locations. And if you ever needed to change, let's say you wanted to change the title or you moved addresses, then you would just click edit and you could come in here and change any of that. Everything else is set up to look good, and then you just click save location. If you wanted to add a new location, you'd go to add location, type in a title, start typing in any address, and it'll give you what suggestions, and if you click it, it'll fill in this stuff automatically for you. And you'd hit save location. And then under maps, you go to manage maps, and here are your two different maps. And you can change the title, you can change the height of it, you can change the zoom level, so how far in or out, and any of these settings you can change, and then whatever locations you create will be located here. And so you can select or deselect those through here. And always click save at the bottom. And back on this page, you can see this is where your shortcode is, and that's how it's that's put on the contact page there for you. So that's pretty much everything. If you end up having questions and that aren't answered here, obviously, please let us know. We'd love to help you.